11 days before the election, only to then reveal it turned up nothing. And tonight we ask what happens now in the current FBI investigation into Russian meddling. Also breaking tonight, the emergency declared at a nuclear site here in the U.S. A tunnel collapsing. Thousands of workers told to shelter in place. The new and stunning case tonight, a brawl on a passenger jet from Dallas. The flight attendant caught in the middle. Our team standing by. And the list of college students being charged grows after that student fell down the stairs and later died. Tonight, after our exclusive with one of the students, what we've now learned.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a Tuesday night, and we begin with that bombshell from the White House late today. FBI Director James Comey fired by President Trump. It came without warning. Just last week, Comey testifying about the FBI's investigation into Russia's meddling in the U.S. election, also about the agency's investigation into Hillary Clinton's emails. Comey saying at the time that it makes him, quote, mildly nauseous that he might have affected the outcome of the election. Comey's relationship with the president has been closely watched. Right here in their first meeting at the White House, the president, in fact, joking that you have become more famous than me. Well, tonight, that FBI director has now been fired. And our chief White House correspondent, Jonathan Karl, with new reporting here. What led to this stunning decision?
Clinton's emails may have had an impact on the election. He upended the campaign just 11 days before the vote, announcing his investigators were now poring over new emails discovered on the laptop of Anthony Weiner, the disgraced former congressman married to Clinton's close aide, Huma Abedin.
His then spouse, Huma Abedin, appears to have had a regular practice of forwarding emails to him, for him, I think, to print out for her, so she could then deliver them to the Secretary of State.
Last week, Comey testified that Abedin forwarded, quote, hundreds of thousands of emails, some of which contained classified information. But today, a dramatic reversal, the FBI acknowledging that Comey's testimony was misleading. In a letter to Congress, the FBI said Abedin only forwarded a small number of emails to Weiner.
But is the White House concerned that the FBI director apparently gave inaccurate testimony?
I don't, at this point, I have not asked, and I'm not fully aware of this. I mean, I'm aware of the testimony that occurred and the inquiries, but I've yet to follow up on that, and I'd be glad to follow up.
Does the president still have confidence, full confidence in FBI Director James Comey?
I have no reason to believe. I haven't asked him, so I have not asked the president since the last time we spoke about this.
And the last time you spoke about it, you said he did have confidence, but you're not sure to say that again now?
Well, I don't, in light of what you're telling me, I don't want to start speaking on behalf of the president without speaking to him first.
President Trump once spoke glowingly of Comey.
He's become more famous than me.
But not today. Comey is out. In a statement, the president said, quote, today will mark a new beginning for our crown jewel of law enforcement.
So let's get live to John Karl at the White House there. And John, the administration tonight is making it clear that one of the reasons Comey has been fired was because of how he handled the Clinton email investigation during the campaign, deciding to hold that lengthy news conference highly critical of her before then announcing no criminal charges.
It was the primary reason, David, and the case against Comey is outlined in a stern letter, a 3-page letter from the Deputy Attorney General that especially takes issue with that press conference back in July of last year, saying, I cannot defend the director's handling of the conclusion of the investigation into Secretary Clinton's emails, and I do not understand his refusal to accept the near universal judgment that he was mistaken. Very strong words against the FBI director, explaining why the recommendation was made that the president should fire him.
And John, you covered this campaign closely. The irony is not lost here that this decision would be made based on how they handled Hillary Clinton's emails. She was Donald Trump's fierce opponent, and now he's been fired because of mishandling that moment.
Yes, including very harsh words about the fact that when he announced that he wasn't going to seek an indictment of Hillary Clinton, that he went on with his press conference to, quote, hold a press conference to release derogatory information about the subject of a declined criminal investigation. Letter said that is not the way we operate at the FBI.
Okay, John Karl leading us off tonight. John, thank you. Let's bring in ABC senior justice correspondent Pierre Thomas tonight, because, Pierre, the big question now involves the current FBI investigation into Russian meddling and any possible collusion between members of Trump's campaign and Russia. This is truly extraordinary. Who now runs this investigation?
David, there are a lot of unknowns. The investigation, at least for now, should continue. It's being overseen by Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein because Attorney General Jeff Sessions had to recuse himself after it was disclosed he met with a Russian official. The agents in the field, in theory, should continue to investigate, but make no mistake, the new Deputy Attorney General will be the one making the assessments in terms of whether there should be any prosecutions. Former Director Comey had promised the investigation into potential ties between Russia and the Trump associates would be aggressively pursued no matter where it leads. Tonight, we heard no response from the FBI, and they are clearly shocked. We expect that an interim FBI director will be appointed, but so far the Justice Department has not commented on what happens next in the investigation, David.
But Pierre, just for folks at home keeping track here, the AG has now recused himself. The current president, Donald Trump, firing the FBI director today, who was actually leading that active investigation into Russia. This is going to be a real test now, not only for the FBI, but for the Department of Justice.
Right. The career people at the FBI and the Department of Justice are going to have to take the lead and maintain this investigation. But like I said, David, the new Deputy Attorney General will be the person making the calls, including whether there should be a special counsel appointed to investigate this entire case with the Russians. That will be a critical question, and there is more pressure on him to make that call coming very soon.
All right, Pierre Thomas, our thanks to you as well. Let's bring in Cecilia Vega, who covered the Clinton campaign for us. And Cecilia, we all remember that moment in Iowa. The plane had landed, the Clinton campaign on board. They had bad Wi-Fi, so it was reported at the time that they learned upon landing that the email investigation had been reopened 11 days before the election. Comey then revealing nothing was found in that investigation, but saying he needed to make that public anyway. Let's listen to what Hillary Clinton said just within the last week. I want to get your reaction here on the backside.
I was on the way to winning until the combination of Jim Comey's letter on October 28th and Russian WikiLeaks raised doubts in the minds of people who were inclined to vote for me but got scared off.
She said that it made news immediately. She was on the way to winning until James Comey made that announcement 11 days before the election, Cecilia.
Yes, she said that she, in fact, probably would have been president today had that letter not come out 11 days before the election, David. But look, I just got off the phone with sources close to Hillary Clinton, and surprisingly, perhaps they are not necessarily applauding this move. The concern right now among people close to Clinton is that perhaps this move is related to the FBI's investigation into Russia, into President Trump, and not so much related to the past, that long history that you just mentioned between James Comey and Hillary Clinton. It is a resounding sense of anger right now and worry among people close to Clinton. They're all online tweeting about it. Her former campaign manager, Robbie Mook, says this terrifies me. Her former spokesman says, I wonder if we'll get to the bottom of Russia right now. But David, the reaction is clear. This is very much a concern from inside Clinton world about what's happening with that investigation into Russia.
Into Russia. All right, Cecilia, thank you. A quick check-in with Mary Bruce, live on Capitol Hill tonight. Mary, we're members of Congress, as surprised as perhaps the rest of the country with this announcement late today.
David, swift reaction coming in from both sides of the aisle this evening. Leading Republicans like Senator Lindsey Graham say that this move is a sign that a fresh start may serve the nation well, while Democrats are already raising red flags. Many questioning if Comey was fired because the White House feared he could possibly get to the bottom of any potential Russia connection. One top Democrat tonight says Senator Chris Van Hollen says, quote, firing Comey has the foul stench of an attempt to stop an ongoing investigation. Some Democrats tonight, David, say that this move simply underscores their call for a special prosecutor to lead the Russia investigation.
Right, the focus quickly moving now to who handles this investigation into Russian meddling. Mary Bruce tonight, our thanks to our entire team on the breaking news. In the meantime, we move on now to the other major headline, that emergency at the Hanford Nuclear Reservation in Washington State. Thousands of workers ordered to shelter in place after a collapse at an underground tunnel full of radioactive waste. ABC's Matt Gutman on the notice that went out and what everyone there needs to know.
The alert came in at 8:26 a.m.
Respond to the Purex tunnel for a possible collapse of the tunnel.
Workers at the site said they noticed a cave-in right over an array of nuclear storage sites. The ground sagging at the juncture of two tunnels holding highly radioactive rail cars, triggering fear of a radioactive release.
Dirt collapsed into the tunnel. Nobody's involved. There's no people involved. It's just releasing contamination and high radiation out of the tunnel. So we're going to try to figure out the doses right now.
Some 3,000 workers under the shelter-in-place order were forbidden from eating or drinking anything on the small chance it might be contaminated.
All employees have been accounted for, no injuries and no evidence of a radiological release.
Officials said the depression was about the size of a large swimming pool.
Too early to know what caused the roof to cave in. May not know that for some time.
The Hanford nuclear site sits on the banks of the Columbia River, the biggest in the Pacific Northwest. It's the largest nuclear site in the Western Hemisphere, half the size of the state of Rhode Island, with 9,000 employees. In the past, the plant produced most of the plutonium for the U.S. military program, including the bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It has been closed for 30 years. The only work there, the cleanup of a massive amount of radioactive waste.
It's going to take a significant federal workforce and state oversight to clean up the enormous mess left by the weapons production process.
This was a really troubling headline today. Matt Gutman with us live. And Matt, not only were thousands of workers told to shelter in place, you've actually learned that there was a tour group inside the site when this happened?
That's right, David. A public tour. Now, it was canceled as soon as that cave-in was discovered. We're told that nobody was exposed. But even at decommissioned sites like this one, nuclear material can remain radioactive for thousands of years. David.
Matt Gutman, who will stay on this story for us overnight. Matt, thank you. We turn next to a troubling new case, a new brawl breaking out on a passenger plane. It was an altercation between passengers while on the tarmac. A flight attendant caught in the middle. And it comes after the chaos we saw overnight at the Fort Lauderdale airport after Spirit Airlines canceled 11 flights and delayed dozens more. So many American passengers asking what's happening. Here's ABC's David Curley.
Another sign of civility disappearing from civil aviation. A flight attendant pleading for security and the captain. And then that same flight attendant slammed to the floor as the two men continued to fight at the end of their flight to Burbank. In all, Southwest says 3 passengers were involved before being pulled apart. 1 arrest in the Sunday incident the day before this. A terminal turned into a near riot scene. Police in Fort Lauderdale called in when a crowd becomes angry and agitated that Spirit Airlines is canceling flights again.
Very tense, very angry people. Everybody had places to be.
The travel nightmare continued this morning. Lines out the door, dozens more flights canceled. Among the 3 arrested in the melee last night, 24-year-old Janice Wall.
I was upset, and they try to say I started a riot for being upset.
Spirit's week of cancellations, labor trouble, because pilots are refusing overtime flights. A judge late today ruled for the airline, but individual pilots can still refuse extra flights. Both these incidents, reminders of the now unfriendly skies. Watch passengers flee that Southwest jet as that fight continued. Southwest praised its flight attendants. Spirit apologized to its customers and said it expects pilots to start taking those overtime flights. If they don't, Spirit could face further cancellations. David?
David Curley in Washington. Thanks, David. And a shift in U.S. military strategy could be coming, involving thousands of American troops. Top military advisors now recommending to President Trump that he send as many as 3,000 more American troops to Afghanistan and that they expand their role in the fight against the Taliban. President Trump now weighing those recommendations. That war that began after 9/11 is now already America's longest war. There is still much more ahead on World News Tonight this Tuesday. The list of college students being charged now growing after that student fell down the stairs and later died. Fraternity members accused of waiting 12 hours before calling for help. Tonight, after our exclusive with one of the students, what we've now learned this evening. There's also news on that deadly Amtrak crash in the Northeast, the train speeding around that curve, the new headline involving the engineer. And so many of you reacting to this story last night here, that empty cage surrounding Eastwood. He was the last one left. We do have news about Eastwood. Don't go away.
For adults with advanced non-small cell lung cancer, previously treated with platinum-based chemotherapy, including those with an abnormal ALK or EGFR gene who've tried an FDA-approved targeted therapy, this is big. A chance to live longer. With Opdivo, nivolumab. Opdivo demonstrated longer life and is the most prescribed immunotherapy for these patients. Opdivo significantly increased the chance of living longer versus chemotherapy. Opdivo works with your immune system. Opdivo can cause your immune system to attack normal organs and tissues in your body and affect how they work. This may happen anytime during or after treatment has ended and may become serious and lead to death. See your doctor right away if you experience new or worsening cough, chest pain, shortness of breath, diarrhea, severe stomach pain or tenderness, severe nausea or vomiting, extreme fatigue, constipation, excessive thirst or urine, swollen ankles, loss of appetite, rash, itching, headache, confusion, hallucinations, muscle or joint pain, flushing, fever, or weakness, as this may keep these problems from becoming more serious. These are not all the possible side effects of Opdivo. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions, including immune system problems, or if you've had an organ transplant or lung, breathing, or liver problems. A chance to live longer. Ask your doctor about Opdivo. See OpdivoTV.com for this and other indications. Bristol Myers Squibb thanks the